B.Sc Agriculture 3rd semester course Biochem 231. Students, in previous lecture we learned the role of biochemistry, scope and importance of biochemistry in different aspects of agriculture, and in today's session we will start the new session, that is the importance, then after the structure of water, properties of water, pH and buffer. Before the start of our actual session, let us see the water. So I think no need to explain the importance of water, role played by the water, benefits of water, because we are all aware about the importance of water in our life. Water, more precisely called as life. Water is the miracle of the nature and sustainer of life. Water is universal solvent, and water is one of the most integral part of each and every activities and interaction present or carried out inside the nature and the outside the nature, that is the different industrial activities are also using direct or indirect applications of water. Water is most abundantly found biomolecule on the surface of earth, and water is present in all three states, that is air, gaseous and liquid at the same time. Water is also responsible for maintaining the life. Water is present in the form of liquid in ocean, sea, river, lake, glaciers, spring, and it is also called as the conditioner of climate. How? So water is responsible for absorbing the warm condition, or water is responsible for absorbing the heat and maintaining or regulating the temperature. At the same time, when the temperature lowers down in cold condition, water is responsible for release of heat and making climate warmer. So here the season or occurrence of cycles of season is also water related activity. Water is also an important integral part of our day-to-day activities, that is physiological, metabolic and all other biochemical activities carried out inside our body, in plant or insect pest, and all the interactions carried out inside the here. To produce 1 liter of petroleum product, it will require about 10 liters of water, and for production of 1 kg of paper it requires 100 liters of water, and for the production of 1 kg of rice it requires about 4500 liters of water. Same for sugar. At the same time, for industrial production, like to produce 1 ton of cement, it requires about 4500 liters of water. To produce 1 tons of steel, it requires about 20,000 liters of water. So this is the actually requirement of water. The volume of water on the surface of earth and beneath the earth is about 1 arab 36 crore cubic liter of water, and out of which the 70% water is present on the surface of earth as a liquid form. Out of 70% of water, the 97% of water is present in sea and ocean, or in the form of sea and oceans. 2% water is present in the Arctic and Antarctic oceans, and only 1% of water present as free state, or 1% water is available for our purpose, use or application. And out of 1% of this water, 0.22% water is present as a underground aquifers, and 0.78% of water is available in a river and other types of the water sources in free form. So here this is about the presence of water. Then we'll see how we are actually taking the benefit of water. So in case of the application or day-to-day use of water, so by the human being, so here the 15 liters of water required for the cooking purpose and other kitchen related activities. Then after the 35 liters of water, 35 to 40 liters of water used for the toilet purposes, and about 65 liters of water used for bathing, washing and all other sundry purposes. So this is the actual use of water by the human being to carry out day-to-day activities. In the industries also there is a enormous and the tremendous applications of water, because to either regulate the activities or to carry out the activities, industrial production, and to solubilize the different compounds and the chemicals. Here there is a enormous or n number of applications of water in the industries also. Students, considering the normal body weight of human being, so about 70% of body weight is made up of with water. Water is responsible for maintaining normal body temperature, that is 37 degrees Celsius, is only because of the secretion of water or release of water from the body by the lungs and the skin. And here the normal body temperature, that is the regulating the body temperature, is maintained by the water. So the water or liquid present in the body is categorized into two types, that is the intracellular liquid and extracellular liquid. So out of this 70%, 30 liters of water is used for synthesis of intracellular liquid, whereas the 12.5 liters of water is used for synthesis of extracellular liquid like the plasma, like the interstitial and lymph, and the transcellular liquid. So here 12.5 liters of water is used for synthesis of the different type of extracellular liquid, and the 4 liters of water is stored in bones, which are actually not used in activities. Considering the water balance in the body, so that is the most important aspect. So water balance is required to maintain the optimal normal body conditioning. So in case of the body conditioning, if the water intake, that is called as the water balance, is also called as the intake and output of water. So in case of the temperate condition, so daily water requirement is about, intake of water is about 2.8 liters, and in case of the temperate condition, so it is in case of tropical condition, it is about 3.5 liters to 7.5 liters of water. And this water intake is through the intake of water, then after through the different liquid diet, then through diet, food, and metabolic water is also available, or the metabolic water is also the source of water in the body carried out because of oxidation of the food. So this is the actual intake of water, and the water is lost from the body through the urine, then after through the different liquids, and water is output or water is lost from the. So when the loss of water is more, then it is called as the dehydration. When there is a loss of water carried out from the body, is called as the dehydration. Dehydration is caused due to the loss of extra water through the vomiting and through the dehydration or more urine, and because of that there is a loss of water from the body. It is called as dehydration. Sometimes when the water is accumulated into the tissues, then it is called as edema. So here the dehydration is one of the most important factor responsible for dehydration, and when body loss more than 10% of water or more than 20% of water, then here the dehydration occurs. So here the loss of water up to 10%, it is considered or satisfactory, but when the loss of water is more than 20%, then after it is dangerous for our body. Then in case of edema, so it is called as the sugar baby syndrome or sugar baby symptom. So that is the in case of the Caribbean countries, so in Caribbean part it is commonly observed, that is the water accumulated in the tissues, and because of that the body look like the normal body, and this is called as the edema. So kwashiorkor, it is also called as the displaced children. So because of the loss, sometime after the birth, if the children is not getting proper consumption or proper liquid through the milk of mother, and at that time the kwashiorkor symptom observed, or this type of disease occurred. This disease is responsible for malnutrition, malnourishment, or the deficiency of protein. Students, considering our body, about 60% of red blood corpuscle and about the 92% of the blood plasma is composed of water, and about 75% of all other tissues are made up of with water or composed or consisting of water, and These unusual properties of important physiological activities. First one, expansion on freezing. Second one, uniquely high surface tension, uniquely high heat capacity, and universal solvent. These are some important properties played by the water and having great physiological biochemical importance. It is also having the great application in metabolic activities too. So here, first unusual property is the expansion on freezing. So most of the substances are lowering in volume during the freezing, but in case of water it expands, and water behaves a bit differently with the temperature at 4 degrees Celsius and at 0 degrees Celsius, that is the at freezing point. So in case of the 4 degrees Celsius, water is heavier and than the water, and at the same time considering the freezing point. So here regarding the freezing of water, so water expand during the freezing, and this freezing starts from surface to the bottom, and hence most of the living creature present in the ocean or sea or in the water, these are living because the first freezing start at the upper surface, that is at 4 degrees Celsius. So here because of freezing, water expand and the density decreases, and because of that the ice is floating on the surface of water, and because of that here the whatever the living creature present in the water are become living, and these are get protected against the freezing temperature. So this is the property of water, 4 degree and 0 degree Celsius. So here this is the unique nature of water. So another feature of water is nothing but when the other substances are melted, their volume is decreased, whereas in case of water the volume increases. So in case of the water, when ice is melted, so here the volume of 1 gram of ice is about 1.09 cubic centimeter, and when the temperature increases, so here the volume of ice become only 1 cubic centimeter. So this is also another unique feature of water. Next feature of water is the frozen water is less denser than the liquid water. This is also another unique feature of the water, characteristic of the water. Next property of water is the uniquely high surface tension. So here the attraction between two water molecule is highest, and the surface it is the attraction between two water molecule to bind together is at highest, and because of that here the surface tension of water is about 72.8, which is highest than any other liquid present on the nature or in the nature. So unusual rise in the narrow capillary tube, so that is because of the surface tension. So this is also having great physiological metabolic importance, significance in the nature. So this is another property of water, that is the surface tension. Then uniquely high heat capacity. So here this is most natural or familiar concept regarding day-to-day life. So here when the temperature of water increased, so water is trying to regulate its temperature, and because of that here the water is the only solvent present in the nature responsible for regulating its normal temperature or try to regulate the temperature, resist the heat. So that is why the cycles, natural meteorological cycles or climatic cycles are going on properly, and this is the most important unique feature of the water, that is the high heat capacity. Water can regulate the temperature at its high level. Next property of water, that is the universal solvent. So here because of the polar nature, that is the when water dissociates itself into H and OH and is responsible for the solubilization of most of the particles or the solutes in the nature, and here the water is also responsible for solubilization, dissolution of most of the solvent present in the nature, and sometimes because of the polar nature other organic solvents are get dissolved into the water. So this is another feature of water, and because of that water is playing role as a regulator, water is playing role as a organic universal solvent, water is playing role as a medium of the synthesis, then the transportation of material, and the other type of activities.